Welcome back, folks, to the Membership Machine Show. This is episode 80. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the best SaaS and WordPress Helpdesk ticketing software in 2024. If you've got a membership website of any size, you soon find that you've got to deal with support tickets, student tickets, and having a central place where they can put those tickets and where you and people that work for you can manage will become quite essential. But these solutions, some of these solutions can be very pricey, but we've got some other solutions that are very cost effective. To discuss this important and interesting subject, I've got my regular but special guest, Haroon. Haroon, would you like to introduce yourself to the listeners and viewers?
Certainly. Thank you, Jonathan. Firstly, regular and special reminded me of the show Sheep in the Big City, and it had quite a lot of oxymorons in it. So there was this general specific and there was this private public. So
well, that about sums up life, doesn't it?
Yep. So that's who I am, the special regular. So I've been working in the tech ecosystem for around 2.5 decades, with WordPress in specific for around 1.5 decades, actually probably more than that. And been there, done that, worked with most of the tools in the ecosystem. And that puts me in a position to help my clients with deciding what works best for their use case. So that's me.
Right. We're going to be looking at systems like Live Agent, Zendesk, Fluent support, and a number of other WordPress. We can all combine it. It's one of the strengths of this show, folks. We have an emphasis on WordPress, but we also look at the SaaS solutions as well and give you a broad outline of what the choices, the leading choices out there are. Should be a great show. But before we get into the fine detail, I've got a couple of messages from our major sponsors. We will be back in a few moments, folks.
This podcast episode is brought to you by Lifter LMS, the leading learning management system solution for WordPress. If you or your client are creating any kind of online course, training-based membership website, or any type of e-learning project, Lifter LMS is the most secure, stable, well-supported solution on the market. Go to lifterlms.com and save 20% at checkout with coupon code podcast20. That's podcast20. Enjoy the rest of your show.
We're coming back, folks. Like I say, we will be delving in this great subject. And you just listened to a couple of messages from the sponsors. And I just want to point out that we've also offering a great new resource at the WP-Tonic.com website. We're offering a course that shows you how to build a membership website on WordPress using Lifter LMS and Cadence, plus a number of the leading WordPress tools. From beginning to end, it will guide you through the whole process. The course is only $49. It has over 20 lessons. It's fully featured, and it's done by my colleague Kirk. To get this great course that will show you how to build your membership website on WordPress, all you have to do is go over to wp-tonic.com/course, wp-tonic.com/course, and you can sign up there. Also, I want to point out that if you do the course, you at the end, you will get a coupon code for 50% your first year hosting with WP-Tonic. What more could you ask for? Probably a lot more, but that's what you're only going to get from that offer. But it's a fantastic offer, is it not? So, all right, Haroon's nodding, so it must be good. So let's go into, I thought we would start with the SaaS solutions first. And then in the second half, we go into the better subject of WordPress solutions. I'm only showing my biased listeners and viewers, but I'm very upfront about it. So live agent, let's start with that. So first of all, would you like to give a quick intro of your own views about help desk solutions out there? What's your own observations before we go into the specifics, Arun?
So in my experience so far, help desk tools is one area where, for most people, in my opinion, a SaaS solution makes more sense than doing their own self-hosted WordPress-based solution, because it's like it's one of those things that you probably don't want to technically manage. It's just something that you want to always be there, always be functional, without the risk of you having to debug an issue and customers are trying to reach out to you through that channel or through one of the channels supported by the tool, and there's some slowdown due to some issue on a plugin on the site and they can't reach you. So yeah, I personally trust SaaS solutions more. Or you run a dedicated install that is not your main e-commerce site, then yeah, you run a bit of a separate SaaS type of installation of your own, but not on your main WordPress install. Not for every case, but I don't recommend it to be on your main WordPress install in most cases. And
I totally agree. I totally agree with you, because that's how we've done it at WP-Tonic. We run it on a separate hosted WordPress install, and we just run it on its own.
Yeah,
basically.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So let's start with the Pacific's Live Agent. Do you know anything about this one?
Oh, yes. I've used it for a very long time. Way back when they offered a lifetime deal on AppSumo, I grabbed one. And like usually 9 out of 10 of my AppSumo deals are what I don't really end up using much. It's I've just stopped buying stuff from AppSumo lifetime deals. But this is one of those very few tools that have been a great and immense investment. It was just an impulse buy at like 49 or 59 bucks. And it has saved me a lot of money in terms of not having a monthly SaaS subscription, not worrying about hosting. So yeah, I've used it extensively, and I must say it does pretty much everything that I've ever needed a customer support solution, a help desk solution to do for me. So like I give it 10 out of 10 for my needs. But then, of course, everyone's needs are different. For my needs, it's been a 10 out of 10.
It provides it's a kind of Swiss Army knife of kind of chat and support, because they also provide extensive chat agent and a number of other features. So it's a kind of Swiss Army knife of support and chat combined.
Yes.
Starts at $9 per month per agent. Medium is $29 per agent, and large is $49 per agent. And that's why these systems can get, it's okay if you're just doing it on your own probably, but if you start having other people helping you with support, which is the situation at WP-Tonic. I have 2 other people that help me with the support at WP-Tonic. It soon adds up, folks. But for what it offers, the amount of functionality compared to some of the other solutions, it's one of the better valued SaaS-based systems, especially if you bought the lifetime deal.
Oh, yes. You just can't beat that.
All right. Yeah. On to the next one, which I kind of see as the granddaddy of SaaS support ticketing systems. It was the leader in it for a time, and it spawned a lot of competition, and that Zendesk. So what's your views on Zendesk, Arun?
It's considered as as you mentioned, one of the big daddies, one of the top industry standards, if you will, and that's for good reason. I mean, their offering is solid, it's reliable. does everything you need it to do, but it can get quite costly. A lot of corporate sector, like it's one of the first go-tos in the corporate sector, in the large business sector. But I mean, I personally wouldn't use it because it's more expensive compared to alternatives that do the job for me. But for many people, like for many organizations, that difference may not matter much. For some small organizations, that does matter. So yeah, solid tool, does everything you need it to do, but then your mileage may vary based on the pricing you get based on your particular business requirements from it.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Haroon's just said. It's really aimed at the higher end to some. It's really very slick UX design, very polished system.
Oh yes.
The API integration directly with a number of other leading SaaS-based products is rock solid,
Yes.
and its Zapier integration is also pretty rock solid.
Yes.
If you thought Live Agent was expensive, Zendesk makes Live Agent look cheap. It starts at team level at $55 per month per agent. Growth is $89 per agent, and professional, wait for it, folks, is $115 per agent. But I suppose if you got to that level, you must be pretty happy with the value that you're getting. So it is a rock solid solution, but a pricey one.
Oh yes.
Would you agree with what? Yeah, go on.
I agree. Even the entry level plan is worth it when you consider the sheer number of integrations. If you are going to use a lot of those integrations, and if you're going to see the robust email, chat, voice, social, and like lots of omni-channel support. Their omni-channel support is one of the best in the industry. Integrates with the most channels out there.
And what you got to understand, folks, if you have, there's integrations and there's integrations. Because a SaaS company says it's got a direct integration with another SaaS product, it doesn't mean it's any good. You don't have that problem in general with Zendesk. Normally the integrations do what they say they're going to do. Obviously, that's a two-edged sword, because obviously it could be the company that Zendesk is trying to integrate with, and that's one of the problems of relying on separate SaaS companies. But there we go. On to the next one, which I utilized because it offers a really great free product, and that's Freshdesk. What's your views on Freshdesk?
So I think they started off with, like, in the name itself, it was like a fresh new take on Zendesk, which was getting a bit dated in UI before they did a lot of updates. Back in the day when Freshdesk was starting, it was like a fresh new alternative to Zendesk, and they wanted it to be more entry-level friendly. So their pricing was better. They offered a free plan, and even their paid plans a lot cheaper compared to Zendesk. So for those organizations which were like modern startups with a tight budget, without a lot of funding, who wanted a solution and they couldn't afford Zendesk, or it was way too corporate for them, Freshdesk was the go-to, and it does a pretty good job at that.
Yeah. So we used it when I started off. I had the free program. The free program is not crippled, but it has some strong limitations, because obviously they want you to upgrade to the paid version. One of the major drawbacks of the free program is you can't add any custom fields to the free program. And like, we would get endless tickets and somebody said, I've got a problem with my website. Can you help? Can you do a freebie for me? It had nothing to do with the hosting, it's something else. But they wouldn't give us the URL of the website. And I've got hundreds of hosted clients. My memory is not that good. So I had to upgrade, and then more people joined my support team. And we were paying, ended up, we were paying about $500 The UX design is nothing compared to Zendesk. It's not terrible, but it is no shape or form is it as polished as Zendesk. I am a kind of UX snob. But in functionality, that doesn't matter. Compared to some of the leaders that we're going to discuss in the SaaS platform, it's pretty good value. The free is like $15 per month per agent, and that's the growth. And then the pro is $49 per month, which isn't cheap. The $15 compared to Zendesk and some of the others. Live agent obviously starts at $9. So there's a considerable, but they don't offer a free program. So you can see where this is going. You really got to look at what you really need at the beginning, and we can't do that. But it's great. It's not. I've used it myself. I would have no problem recommending it. On to another big leader. I think it's either the biggest or the next biggest to Zendesk.
Yeah.
And a lot of SaaS companies use this themselves, startup SaaS, and that's Help Scout. What do you think of Help Scout?
You would probably have a hard time choosing between Help Scout and Zendesk, to be honest, because they're so competitive.
Well, it's the price that makes that easier, doesn't it?
But like in terms of feature set, I think Zendesk is a bit ahead of Help Scout.
Yeah.
Well, maybe quite a bit ahead of Help Scout for certain very niche features that a vast majority might not need. For the organizations that do need it, it might be a deal breaker. So it's about making a list of every single thing you need and then seeing which is a better fit. But again, you simply can't go wrong with it. And similar plans are comparatively cheaper on Help Scout compared to Zendesk.
About half, but they have user limits.
User limit,
When it comes to the UX design and the ease of use, because UX is not necessarily both joined at the hip, because you can get a beautiful interface and it can be still extremely difficult to use.
Yeah.
But in general, if they've spent a lot of money on the fit and finish of the interface, they've normally spent time working out the usability part as well, but not always, folks. But their standard plan starts at $25 per user with a 25 user limit, which isn't bad, because if you got up to 25 people in your support team, you shouldn't be worrying it. And then the next one is $50 per user. And then I think they got that's the plus plan. And then I think the pro plan, I think you got to ask them how much they're going to rob you on that one. On to the next one, which is Zolodesk. Zolo has a lot of SaaS-based applications. It's an Indian-based company. I've had dealings with them as a sponsor, and I know a few people in Zoho. I actually use Zoho CRM, and I've been using it for years, and I find it for actual as a record, as my company's digital hub. I find it works fine for me, where I keep all my customer and business information in one place, and it's been rock solid. I understand from them that Zolodesk is one of their third most popular or second most popular application in North America. It's solid. I think it's very similar to Freshdesk in the way it looks, but the problem for them and I was surprised when they said it was the person I was talking to is a very honest person. So I believed him when he said that this is their second most popular application. Is they don't offer a free version, I don't think, and it starts at $14, which is very similar to Freshdesk, but Freshdesk have their free product. And I don't, you would have to look at the specifics to see. I think it is a fight. If you're looking at Zolo, you're going to be looking at Freshdesk. And if you're looking at Freshdesk, you're probably looking at Zolo. What do you think, Haroon?
Yeah, Zoho is going to be like a no-brainer if you are tied into their ecosystem
Yes.
already. If you're using their CRM, then pair it with their help desk, and it's like a fully integrated solution by one vendor. You don't need to worry about Zapier connections or third-party integrations. So that's a pretty good selling point. So if you're using their sales solution, their CRM, their like they have a plethora of SaaS offerings. So if you're already using a few of those, like maybe their bookings and appointment scheduling service, their forms, their sales pipeline system. So any of those tools pair really, really well with it. That's not to say it's useless for pairing with any third-party solutions. They do offer you widgets that you can just embed in your site. So I mean, it works, but it works better with their solutions, and it's a no-brainer if you're already using their solutions. That's the point. And the pricing is also pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there because I'm a WordPress person. I'm a little bit isolated. I on purpose. I use Zolo. I use Zoho Booking, which is their finance package, and that's pretty good actually for what you get. And I actually use Zoho subscription, which is invoicing as well. Some of their SaaS products aren't that particularly good. Others, like Zolo CRM that I've been using for years, is pretty rock solid. But the problem is there's all types of CRM, folks, and as a digital hub, it works fine. But if you're looking for marketing automation, Zolo have that broken off into a separate product, and that separate product, which I've forgotten what it's called, actually doesn't work that well, and it integrates with Zolo CRM really well, but as a standalone marketing automation product, it has a lot to desire based on my experience. Other people would have a different view. That is the crux of the problem when you're dealing with Zolo products. Because I'm in WordPress, I just choose one that I don't think that WordPress offers a really great solution. And WordPress has some great CRM solutions. But if you're looking for a CRM solution as your digital hub, not your marketing CRM, WordPress doesn't offer a great solution, in my opinion. So I waffled on there a bit, but I thought, hopefully. What do you reckon? Did I offer any value there, Haroon, or was I just waffling?
You did.
Right.
I agree.
Right. Well, I've just had God agreed to me, so there we go. So let's go on to the last one before we go for a break. And this is a Australian company. This was brought to my attention, Haroon, by the owner of WP Fusion, because he wrote a really fantastic piece on his blog, and he really knows his stuff. And they get hundreds of support tickets every day. And I forgot which SaaS product he was using, but it was costing him an arm and a leg, and they moved. But it's interesting. This is an Australian company. I think it is Australian. It's called OS Ticket, and they offer.
There's a kangaroo in the logo itself, so yeah, it is pretty Australian.
Well, it could be Kiwis, but normally it's a Kiwi, isn't it? I apologise to any New Zealand listeners. You don't like being compared to Australians, so there we go. I wasn't doing it out of spite. So they do offer a free product, but you're going to have to self-host it, and it's a typical Linux. You got to be somebody like Haroon or a lesser degree, somebody like me, that wants to do it. I wouldn't have bothered. I'm either going to go the WordPress route or I'm going to go the SaaS route. But I was told by the owner of WP Fusion that it's been rock solid for him, but he's got the self-hosted solution. And then they provide a cloud solution at $12 per month, which I think if you're going for the cloud, it's a little bit pricey, actually. You might as well go with Freshdesk, actually, or go with Zolodesk. But I'll be interested. You got any experience with this, Harun?
Yes, I do. And it's more like, I'd compare it to like OS Ticket is to help desk solutions the way Mautic is to marketing automation.
Yes, that's
So,
yeah.
Or the way WordPress is for publishing. So they have an free and open source edition that you can download, just the way Mautic also offers a free and open source edition that you can download and you install it on your own VPS or cloud server or actual physical server. And then you just take care of the entire technical infrastructure and it costs you nothing. No per agent fee, no limitation on number of accounts to connect with it. So it's like yours, but you pay all of the hosting and technical maintenance fees if you hire someone for the technical maintenance or do it yourself. And it's a pretty good solution. Very, very suitable for small and medium-sized businesses. For enterprise level, usually for enterprise support that most enterprise organizations need, large businesses need. It's not meant for them, I guess. It's meant for small and medium-sized businesses because enterprise level generally chooses to just pay a higher amount per user and get the sort of corporate enterprise support that they need.
Well, they might be looking.
I agree
because they're all cutting back because things have got a bit tougher, aren't they? So everybody's looking at their budget, aren't they?
Yeah. True. And when it comes to their cloud hosted solution, I mean, at $12 per agent, it's pretty close to $9 per agent of live agent, so competitive enough. But I mean, I'm not sure if I would go for this one, as Jonathan said, at that price point. When it comes to their hosted solution.
Well, the reason why I say that, Arun, is you don't. I might be wrong here because I didn't study it enough. I did read the post on the WP Fusion because it was really interesting. Because at the time I was looking at getting away with my own SaaS support ticketing system, but I decided to go with a WordPress plugin, which we're going to discuss in the second half. It doesn't make, but I think you just don't get the integrations that you would get with Zendesk or Help Scout or some of those integrations with others. You're not going to get that with their offering and at that price. Because you're not, if you're just looking for a ticketing system and these integrations you don't need them, but then it's competitive, so other people would have a different opinion, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and their feature set is like pretty good for a lot of small and medium-sized businesses. I mean, they give you unlimited custom fields, custom columns, and filters, and the whole topic management, like knowledge base part, and also they've got a customer portal which is like customizable in the sense that if you're using the free and open source version, then you can customize it to your heart's content. There are no limits that you come across when using other SaaS platforms.
And I'm really influenced by the owner of WP Fusion because I've known him for a number of years and I've done business deals with him, and he's a totally rock solid and trustworthy individual, and he's never welched on anything he's promised me, and he really knows his stuff, and he's sung its praises, and he wasn't getting any sponsorship or anything, so that I would imagine it's a pretty good product because of his endorsement, which when he endorses things, I listen because he really knows his stuff. So, all right.
Yep, agreed.
You can, if he's listening, he can send me the check next week. Actually, no, that was a bit of English.
Half to you, half to me.
All right. On we go. I think it's time for us to have our break. In the second half of the show, we will be talking about WordPress solutions. It should be a great second half. We will be back in a few moments, folks.
Tired of hosting providers that can't handle high traffic loads? Conversio is here to help. Our platform can handle any amount of traffic, all without slowing down or crashing. With immediate Slack support, performance optimization, and a team that thrives on resolving technical challenges, your e-commerce business is in safe hands. Learn more about Conversio at conversio.com.
Coming back, folks. Before we go into the WordPress solutions, I want to point out that the Membership Machine Show has a great WordPress Facebook group. It's totally free. If you've got any questions about building a membership website on WordPress, go here. We've got a great community of WordPress professionals and people like you building a great business on WordPress, a membership business. Like I say, it's called the Membership Machine Show Facebook group. Just do a search in Facebook and you'll be able to join, and we love you to be part of the community. So on we go on the WordPress. So we start off with awesome support. I haven't used it myself. Have you?
I have, and back when I did try to use it, well, the last time I did try to use it, I had used it before with success for some client sites, but the last time when I tried to use it for one of my own projects, it wasn't all that awesome, to be honest. My experience...
Well, that's the problem of calling it awesome support, isn't it? You are opening. That was a terrible pun, actually, Haroon.
Oh, so, I mean, the tool itself did the job that it was advertised to do. I wouldn't say the tool itself was the problem, but then the support provided by their developers. So let's say the support for awesome support wasn't all that awesome. So forgive my puns, but yeah, the support I received for awesome support by their developers, they were not exactly responsive. And at that time, the overall opinion of many seasoned people from the industry about them who had been using them in the past and who had been trying to use them lately was that they made a tool, they had it reach a certain level of success, and then at that stage, they were not really doing anything for it.
Oh, you're frozen. Hopefully you come back. Come back, Haroon. He's frozen, folks, but hopefully he will come back. Put some money into the slot machine. Yeah, this is one of the things Haroon is right about this, is that if the plugin developer...
Hi, am I still there?
Yeah, you come back.
There was a bit of a connection hiccup.
Yeah, you come back. Yeah, so I think... Yeah, go on.
So yeah, I was saying a lot of other veterans from the industry were also of the same opinion that they built it, they brought it to a certain level of success, and now they were just milking that success and not really actively working on the tool anymore. There was some ownership changes as well in the mix, or maybe that was speculation, but they just weren't being that responsive to their user base, which the user base didn't like as much. And then many people moved on from this. This was like 2018 or 19. I heard afterwards that they did pace up development a bit, but back then the feature request queue had been stagnant for like over a year or so.
All right, let's move on before I start getting a letter from Support Candy. Love the name. I've never used
We
it.
didn't discuss the pricing.
Oh,
though.
yes, thank you. It's standard for awesome support. The price is $149. They've got a Pro at $229, and then they've got Enterprise at $289. And that's a bit strange. You've got Pro at $229, and then you've only got a slight jump to Enterprise, unless I've got the wrong price, but I don't normally make.
No, you have the right price. There's only a small feature set difference. So like satisfaction survey, private credentials, and documentation. These are only the 3 features that are different. Otherwise, the rest of the features are exactly the same.
Oh, right. So let's go on. Love the name, but don't know much about it. Support Candy. I do like the name, though. Gunny, have you used Support Candy at all?
No, this one I haven't had the chance to use so far. I've looked at it. I just didn't come across a situation where I had to use it. But the offering seems pretty solid.
Yeah. So the prices are personal $79, professional $149, and agency $299, which seems a bit more logical. And the personal at $79, is half the well, not quite half price, but substantially cheaper than Awesome Support. But I would imagine that Awesome Support have more functionality, so you're just going to have to look to see. But I haven't used them, so let's go on to another one. And I don't know how they're getting away with this, actually. Help Scout Desk. I don't know how they got away with that name, actually. They must have got a cease and desist letter, mustn't they? They must be based abroad, mustn't they? Because how can they get away with using that name? Have you utilised this at all?
So I haven't actually, but it seems that it's probably.
Do you have to use help? Do you have to use help
And
desk?
yeah, I think it's a integration plugin between Help Scout and WordPress.
Rightio.
But I haven't had the occasion to actually use them.
Because it isn't that particularly clear on their website, is it?
Yeah. But they do say WordPress plus Help Scout, and they also say WordPress Heart Help Scout. So either it's an integration between WordPress and Help Scout that they're offering as a WordPress plugin, which seems quite likely to be the case, or I don't know how they're getting away with it.
Yeah, I still don't know how they're getting away with it. Unless Help Scout has said, "Oh, we've got no intention of building our own WordPress, and we're happy to let you provide integration." So they let them at it. So because they've got a couple of endorsement, they've got an endorsement from Mike McAllen.
Actually. Sorry to interrupt. It does seem like, yes, it does seem like a WordPress native integration for Help Scout, which brings you a lot of features of Help Scout and like within WordPress without having to manually add their widgets and all. It gives you a plugin to and integrate more strongly with the WordPress ecosystem. Yeah, so that makes
and I
sense.
can totally understand, because it starts at a one-site license at $49.99. They do a multi-site license that would appeal to our agency, but because utilizing it's the similar with Zolodesk and Freshdesk, they do provide widgets and that for WordPress. But then they tend to be dog ugly and pretty limited in functionality. And a lot of the time, they're not worth the bother, are they, Haroon? So if you, a lot of people and Help Scout is very popular in the startup, medium size business area. So, and a lot of those companies have a WordPress website and integrate and not using some crummy integration solution. This is attractive.
And one more thing I'll add about these guys, they also I didn't notice that earlier, but I just noticed they're the ones behind popular, well, relatively popular Help Scout plugin for WordPress called Help Scout. So they are also behind the free plugin.
All right.
Free and on wp.org repository. It's wordpress.org/plugins/help-scout.
It's amazing. You can find your little niche in the world of 43 plus of the whole websites of the world. You can find your little corner, can't you, Haroon, to make a reasonable living, can't you?
Agreed.
There you go. On to the last one, and the one that we use at WP-Tonic. And it's from a great plugin shop. We use Fluent Support, and I've been very happy with it, and it's got a nice interface. The people behind it, the founder's a great guy, very generous individual, and he knows how to do business the right way. And he's also the guy behind Fluent Booking, which we utilize and we provide to our hosting customers. And he's also him and his company are the people behind Fluent CRM, which is really fantastic, folks. It's, I would say, better than Active Campaign in some ways, but for, I would say, the majority of people, it provides just as equal functionality as Active Campaign, and they've kept improving it. But I've been really happy with this. I don't know what are your thoughts about this, Haroon?
So if you are to use a self-hosted WordPress-based help desk solution, help and support solution, you don't need to look further. This is the plugin for it.
Yeah, it's got a nice and the thing about him and his team is they normally do reasonably good interface design, don't they?
They do,
it's normally reasonably polished, isn't it?
Yes, and the feature set is also pretty impressive for a self-hosted plugin-based solution within WordPress, and the pricing is also very, very reasonable.
I know I think you utilize another CRM, but I think they're really dominating the WordPress native CRM market now. Would you agree with that?
Completely agree. The other one really need to up their game to compete with these guys now.
And I think Jetpack and Automatic have tried to get in this, but I don't think it compares anything to Fluent.
Oh, nowhere close. That one doesn't even come close to the other one. Well, Groundhog. That one's way far behind. That one used to be called Zero BS CRM before Automatic purchased it and made it Jetpack CRM. And even back then, it had nothing on either Groundhog or Fluent CRM. It was way behind.
So the prices for one site, single site, it's $103, unlimited agents. Agency, I think that's up to 50 licenses. It's $199, or it could be lower than that. And then they've got enterprise at $319. These are not ridiculous prices for what you're getting. I like to say, and the other thing, the company behind it, they do Fluent Forms. If you're hiring a developer and you're doing something very complicated, you're probably going to be looking at Gravity Forms, and which is still a good solution, especially if you're doing some detailed custom work. But in general, if you're not in that particular area and you're just looking for general functionality, the free and also the pro version of Fluent Forms, I think, is the best, especially the free for what you get. And you just get added level of functionality with the pro. And that's part of that additional functionality is how it can integrate with their other products, especially the Fluent CRM. So they've got one of the most powerful, I think it's what in the general form market, with the proviso of Gravity Forms, and I've been with Gravity Forms for years, and I have a grandfather plan with them, and I just pay it, and that's that. But compared to the other big players in the form market, I think Fluent Forms, which then integrates with Fluent Support, is one of the top form solutions out there. Would you agree with that?
I agree. Except that in my personal experience, I've used Fluent, I've used Gravity, but ever since I've used WS Form Pro, I've been hooked. Like nothing else comes close. I've stopped using Gravity at all. Fluent is still like I would call it probably the second best, or tie it along with Gravity Forms for the second best. But the top crown has been taken away by WS Form Pro. Nothing else comes close.
I would never use it because I've had some difficulties with the owner of that particular plugin, and not in its functionality, but I would be reluctant to use it and recommend it to a client, Arun. I'll leave it at that because I don't want to get sued, but that's been my personal experience. Totally different attitude to the people behind the Fluent. The owner of the Fluent plugin and his team are rock solid people. On my business dealings with them, they've always treated me totally upfront and extremely fairly. So I can only talk about my personal experiences with different companies and different owners.
Agreed. Yeah, we have different experiences with different companies and different owners. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So shall we end this? What's your final thoughts? When it comes to the SaaS, if you're committed to utilizing SaaS and not listen to our advice that you should utilize WordPress, which of the SaaS that we talked about would you recommend to a client?
Well, again, it will depend on their specific needs, but for a majority of small and medium-sized businesses, they can't go wrong with a live agent. It would be my de facto choice for a majority of small and medium businesses. But then if they have very specific needs that another one of the tools fulfills better, then they can't go wrong with that either.
Yeah, I would agree. It would either be Live Agent or it would be Freshdesk myself. They're the two that for that small to medium-sized company.
Yeah. And for a large organization, if budget is no issue, then hands down Zendesk.
Yes. Yeah. You're not going to go wrong with the Zendesk, are you?
Yeah.
Because they're going to be looking at integrating with other SaaS-based products, and they're going to be looking at reliability and rock solid functionality, and that's what they're going to get from Freshdesk.
Oh yes.
When it comes to WordPress, I think there is only one, and that's Fluent Support, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't totally discount Support Candy. I just haven't used it myself yet, so I'm not in a position to give a yay or nay verdict on that one, which is pretty rare in our sessions, because usually all of the tools that we review in our sessions are what I've actually used in one way or the other. But this one I haven't. But it looks solid, so I would actually consider giving it a try for probably the next client project that comes up that requires something like this.
Yeah, but I would. It's just all the integrations with the other great products, and we're a big supporter of Fluent. And we offer a lot of their products as part of our hosted bundle. And this, because membership, having a CRM and having effective marketing automation is quite important. And we provide the Fluent Pro form plugin, the Fluent CRM, and then they brought out something that I was praying for, effective online booking plugin with Fluent Booking, and I think that's been a big success, and we offer that as part, which links in with the CRM and the Fluent form in a great combination of three core functionality for people looking for coaching or membership websites. That's why I'm such a big supporter of them.
And add to it Fluent SMTP, the
Yes,
free
and
SMTP
that's
plugin.
the free, but that's also a Bedrock plugin
Yeah.
product. So they
Takes
really
care
got
of. Yeah, sorry.
they've got a strong, really a strong library of plugins around the marketing. So they're broadening it out, but they have got some linkage, some synergy, haven't they, of how they've expanded out in areas that they do. So they're not built one plugin, it's in a totally different area of their core competence, which you get with a lot of multiple plugin shops. You can have them, they can buy something like the Chocolate Factory is notorious. He'll buy anything from it, any sector, and there's no real linkage there from one area to the other. Where with Fluent, they've broadened their library, but you can see some synergy. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I agree.
Right, it's been I've really enjoyed this discussion. I think we've offered some great value, and Haroon's been fantastic. So Haroon, what's the best way for people to find out more about you and maybe have a chat with you?
Well, they can visit hqraja.com. That is HQRAJA.com, which is my website. And over there, they can reach out to me using the form.
That's fantastic. And if you want to book a quick chat with me and get some advice about your present or future membership website, you can go to the WP-Tonic website and book a free consultation with me, or you can just join the Membership Machine Show Facebook group and you can get some great advice and free support on that platform. We will be back next week with either a great interview or I have one of my special regular guests joining us. We'll see you soon, folks. Bye.